Hello. Inside this second episode, we will get our hands dirty to really code in Ruby on Rails. I will not introduce you some techniques about Ruby, how to program Ruby, what is the syntax. I assume you have already know that, but I will recommend a good video course in my show notes later. So Ruby on Rails is a web framework in MVC architecture. So MVC architecture contains three components. They are models, views, and the controllers. The model layer will manipulate the data, and the view will show the user interface, and the controller will receive user request and send back the response. So controller knows model and knows view, but the model doesn't know view and controller. So this three component actually is quite tightly coupled compared to some linear architecture like MVP. So MVC inside Rails, different layers have different responsibilities. The model is responsible for CRUD, the data models. It is managed by a gem called active record, and the view layer consists of HTML templates, JavaScript files, and CSS files, and also your images of your website. The controller will accept the web request and first send it to the actions inside, and the action will do the business logic and send back the correct data and render it inside the view. As we discussed in last episode, I will create a Facebook-like application, so I named it Sharebook. Inside this Sharebook project, we got user management system. We allow user to register, sign in, sign out, and update a profile just like any social network website. And user can post articles onto the website. They can create, edit, and delete their articles. And we also allow them to create album and upload their photos. And also user can follow other user and add other user as friend, so they can comment on other people's articles and albums. At last, we'll put this website online. So now, let's really do some coding. I'm now in the directory that I put all my Rails projects. I will create the Sharebook project using this command, Rails new Sharebook. Then I will use macvim to open this project. I will go to this project first, use macvim dot to open it. Here you can see some folders and files inside. The app folder actually stores the application related code mostly, and this is a config folder store all our configurations. DB is for database configurations, and if you use SQLite, the SQLite database will inside this folder. Lib folder is for your self-created Ruby code libraries, and this is for store the logs. Public folder stores the static pages and files. This is for storing the test cases, and vendor stores the third-party JavaScript and CSS libraries. Here is a gem file, and what gem file does is store the a list of plugins that your Rails application requires. So the first thing we want to create is the user management system. We'll use a gem called device to show you how to do the user management system. So I will list a new gem here called device, save the file, and go to my command line. Let's clear it. And I will install this one by running this command, bundle install. Device is a gem created by Joseph Valim. He is a very famous committer of the Rails framework. This gem is for authentication in Rails application. So how you can install it is inside the wiki page. So I will add this. I have already added this line to my gem file, and then I need to run this line. So go to my terminal, Rails generate device install. And actually we can write G for short as a generate. So it will install the device gem. And here has some instructions to do after you have installed it. So you need to change your lines in the development RB. Let's do that. Add a line, this one. And the second step is to have a root URL. So do as it tells us. Go to your route file and have a route. Let me do this as home and index. I will explain what does this means later. And the third step is to have this piece of code in your application file, application HTML ERB file. So I will also do that. Application HTML ERB file. Since I don't have this line, I will paste it here. And fourth step, because I'm in Rails 4, so I can ignore this one. You can copy device views to your app by running this one. I don't need device views for this episode, so I will skip this one. So let me explain what does this mean. Since all your configuration files stores in the config folder, and in Rails, by default we have 3 environments. They are development environment, testing environment, and the production environment. In your development, we will use the development environment, of course. So this one is to configure your mailer, because in device sometimes you need to send your confirmation email to the user. So we need a mail server, and this piece of code is for configuring your mail server. Second line is to say that you need to have a root URL. So all your routing information stores inside the routes.rb in your application. The format of your route is starting with your controller name and a action name. So if I run this, start this Rails application now by Rails server, it will say we cannot recognize the home controller because we don't have one. So I will create a home controller. To create a controller, we will use Rails generate controller home with an action called index. So as I said just now, you can just do Rails G controller home index. It creates your controller file and an index template, test suite for controller for your helper, and the JavaScript and CSS file for this controller. So when I go back to here, you can see it already added a GET request mapping to home controller index action. So now I go back to my browser and run it again. It will render the corresponding template. The template is inside the views folder home directory. And we can see it's this one. there's a layout template for all of your sub templates here. It's inside the layout folder called application.html.erb, and the yield here is where to put your Rails action templates. So now let's go back to the device wiki page. And the next step is to generate a model using device. So I will do that. Rails generate model, generate device, user. Also, it listed what it actually did in your application. It creates a migration file. So to change your database structure in Rails, we need to create a migration file. So if you run the generation, it will automatically create the migration for you and create a model file. Also, its corresponding test cases. So I go back, refresh my node tree, then I can see this migrate folder here inside the DB. The device contains a lot of functionalities related to user authentication. If we go to a model user, you can see it has database authenticatable, registrable, and other features. For here, I want to have one more feature is confirmable. Here, listed here, which means a user need to click on your confirmation email to really activate the account. And also in the route file, we have seen that there's one more line automatically added here. It's device for user, which means you can now go to user session new to go to the login page. Let's try that. So here I go to the users session new. I haven't migrated my database, so I need to migrate database to make it work. To migrate database, we use this command, breakdb migrate. It will do what we have stated inside the migration file, which is this one. We will create a table called users and add all these attributes with the data type and some of the other attributes of a column, and we added 2 indexes here. Now I go back to my browser and run this one. Actually, it's not the session's new path. I need to go to users sign in. And before you do that, please restart your server by clicking Ctrl+C and restart the server here. And you can enter this page. It is for sign in. Since I don't have an account, I will create a new account by click into the sign up page. Suppose my email is this one, and the password. Click sign up. And I don't have a local variable called confirmed at, because inside this migration file, I haven't uncommented this part. So I need to uncomment this part first, and now what I need to do is to roll back this migration to re-migrate this migration. So breakdb roll back. It will undo all the steps we done in the previous migration, and now I run the migrate again to add the confirmed at column inside the database in the users table. And now I restart the server again. So I will go to user sign in. Go to the sign up page again, input all the informations. And it says a message with a confirmation link has been sent to your email address. So I will go there and click my confirmation link to activate my account, but since I cannot show you my email box in my screencast, I will show you another way to do it in your development environment, which is you can go into the Rails console by typing this command, and for short is Rails C. And let me list all the users inside our database now by typing user.all. So you can see I have one record here, and the confirmed attribute is new, so I can get this user by typing this one. Get the first user, which is me. Set the confirmed at equals to time.now, and this is the current time. Merry Christmas, everyone. And I will save this model, and I go back again, and I need to sign in this time. Since I have already changed my confirmed at, which means I have already clicked the confirmation link. I need to go to the user sign in. My email is cafe@nsy.com. Let me sign in, and you can see here it's signed in successfully. There is how you can create your user management system. I will add the style sheets in the next episode. So let's have a review of what we have done in this episode. We started from the Rails new with the app name to create a new app. Then some other commands with Rails is the Rails server to start the server, Rails console to debug. The Rails console actually is the IRB with running. The Rails console is actually you execute the IRB with a Rails environment, so you can use it as a Ruby shell. In this episode, I have demonstrated how to generate a controller. Rest of the things I haven't demonstrated. Scaffold is the whole set of MVC, so that you can generate. We have tried the two of the rig commands, which are rigdb migrate and rollback. When you want to install some plugin, you first need to exit your gem file, then run the bundle install command to install it. If you have any question, please make some comment in this page below. Thank you very much. See you next time.